Welcome to Thoroughbred 360, insights, stories and strategy from the commercial world of thoroughbred racing with your host, Bruce Slade. Episode 4 of the podcast that reviews all the commercial performances, events that had a significant impact on our industry over the last week. And what a week it was. Saturday, of course, 5 Diamonds Day in Sydney. Champions Day in Melbourne, which culminated a fantastic Cups week. Now, this is an event I really wanted to talk about today. What an important event for Australian racing and breeding. A full week event. I was lucky enough to be down in Melbourne on Sunday for Gay and Adrian's open day. 260 people through the stable, seeing the stable stars, seeing the likes of Vauban, who ran such a big race in the Melbourne Cup. But what you learn when you're there is that this week is a significant week, particularly in Victoria. They have the public holiday. Everyone I spoke to was taking at least the Monday off, if not the whole week, to enjoy the racing, to enjoy the carnival, to enjoy Cup week, but also run a few errands around town or do a few different jobs as well to fill in the gaps through the week. But what an incredible event. On the Derby Day, of course, Sunday open stables. Monday, Blogsy shone a new light, a fresh, positive light on the core of the card. What an energetic event. For me, just watching that, it made me want to go next year. And of course, shines a really nice light on a fundamental part of the game, which is, of course, the gambling and the big bets and the theatre that brings. Tuesday, of course, the Melbourne Cup. Thursday, the Oaks. And Champions Day, Saturday. People want to discuss what's bigger, what's better, the rise of the Everest, the Melbourne Cup. You know what? We are so lucky to have both. That Everest week is building into such a fantastic week of events for participants, for interested people in our game. And Cup week, the exposure, the cut through the Cup has across the public is incredible. Like my son's school here on the Gold Coast, they were doing sweepstakes at school. My niece and nephew in New Zealand, both 5 and under, watched the race live in Christchurch. That's the kind of exposure this race has. Such a positive thing for our game. Well done to all involved who put on such a spectacular week-long event for our industry. The champions. Now, nothing new commercially came from the big championship races at Flemington on Saturday. They're all well-entrenched Group 1 horses, but what I wanted to touch on was the life-changing money these horses at the top level can earn. What an incredible game, and it pays to be the best. Via Sistina, now 12-time Group 1 winner, 11 here in Australia. She's earned $19.4 million. We've got then Giga Kick. Fantastic effort to see him come back and win the champion sprint. Of course, an Everest winner, a 3-time Group 1 winner. $14 million worth in prize money. And Shield Wolf won the Champions Mile. A 4-time Group 1 winner, 2-time King Charles winner, and now taking his earnings over the $11 million mark. We are so lucky in Australia. It really pays to be the best. Revengeance, the best 2-year-old we have seen so far. I thought Revengeance was terrific in the Golden Gift on Saturday, that $1 million race for 2-year-olds, guaranteeing himself a spot in the Golden Slipper and the luxury of being able to now work his way into the race on his own terms for Gay and Adrian and the Derby racing team. So what are the factors that make me think Revengeance is the best 2-year-old we've seen so far? Well, I expect data to back that up. I expect the ratings from Rob and Daniel O'Sullivan and the likes to show clearly that that was the best 2-year-old performance we've seen this year. Of course, he was second up, so he has that fitness edge. I'd expect he'd improve off that Breeders' Plate rating. He was also very unlucky in the Breeders' Plate. And I love the fact that in the Golden Gift, he put spaces in that field. There were nice spaces between first and second, third and fourth, fifth, and he really stretched that field out. Currently an $11 equal favourite for the Golden Slipper with I'm a Huckleberry and Incognito. So he is equal favourite, but like I say, I clearly believe that was the dominant two-year-old performance of the season so far. And the Triple Crown might be on notice. A horse that really looks like he'll thrive, even getting out to 1,200 metres of the Slipper, 1,400 metres of the Size, and 1,600 metres of the Champagne. Big congrats to, of course, my team, Gay and Adrian. Great to see them win this race for a third time in a row. A nice strong start to the two-year-old season for them. Derby Racing, $100,000 colt first. The filly that was second as well, they obviously sourced for not much more money either. So well played, guys. Incredible job the Derby Racing team do. Special mention to the team at Diwali, Dave and Ali Hush, some of the nicest people in the game. They bred and raised Revengeance. They bought actually Revengeance in utero when they bought Havasu at the Great Southern Sale for just $26,000. As you can imagine, the Great Southern Sale, middle of winter, Melbourne. This mare, as Ali explained, had a pretty good winter coat on her. Not everyone saw through that and saw a really nice mare carrying a nice pregnancy, and they bought her for extra good value and now have bred a really smart horse. So well done to them, and they still own the mare, and I believe the mare is back in fold to Hellbent. Heck of a weekend for Hellbent. Congratulations to Yarraman Park and their team. Their sire showing his versatility, producing a 5-year-old mare to win the 5 Diamonds and a 2-year-old colt to win the Golden Gift. Hellbent, how would you sum him up? Well, he's just a consistent sire of quality runners. With just over 330 to race, he is now the sire of 27 stakes horses, so near on that 10% threshold of stakes horses to runners, which is a good sign of quality. Of those 27 stakes horses, 18 of those are fillies. So he's a horse that gets colts, but he also gets good fillies as well, and that helps you out as a breeder and as a buyer of his progeny. His yearlings this year, 88 sold at an average of just under 100 grand, yet his average earnings per racehorse is $110,000. Another good sign of value with regards to Hellbent and what he's putting on the track. The Yarraman Park, of course, do a great job of getting him consistent quality through each of his seasons, and I see now through the stud book that he has 100 foals on the ground this year, 100 yearlings, and 100 two-year-olds basically. So an average of 100 through his last of his 3 crops, and I'm sure this season he'll be getting around about the same numbers. So you can just expect Hellbents to keep turning up race day, keep winning, and keep putting nice performances together in nice races. 2 two-year-old stakes races of commercial significance run through the week. Of course, the Maribyrnong Plate was won on Tuesday, Cup Day, by the Mar Stable in the Bennett Racing Silks. Another training, syndicating combination doing exceptionally well. Tornado Valley by Too Darn Hot. What a stallion he is proving in Australia. Surprisingly, a really top sire of 2-year-olds here, which probably has taken a few people by surprise, but another 2-year-old stakes winner for him. Of course, he had Sheiky win the Gimcrack, and now he's had this really nice colt out of Oakley Girl win the Maribyrnong Plate. And then Saturday, the English Banner was won by Calamari Ring, a daughter of Street Boss. What a incredible season Street Boss is having, some of the most exciting young horses around Australia by Street Boss. And well done to all those breeders that have a pregnancy to Street Boss this year at a $60,000 plus GST service fee. That service fee certainly looks great value as we sit here and as we speak. Other commercial stakes results of note. Harlem Queen won the Ladies Cup on Saturday. The 3rd stakes winner for Brutal, who's getting a winner a day at the moment. A really nice young stallion building off a low profile. The Oaks was run on Thursday and won by Strictly Business. Magnificent story for the Carberries. A 4th stakes winner for Grunt, the young sire there at Yulong. Of course, 2 of those 4 stakes winners are Group 1 winners now for Grunt. And interestingly, 3 of his 4 stakes winners have a duplication of Zabeel. So that double up of Zabeel looks a powerful cross for Grunt. Finally, the Melbourne Cup, half yours. The only Australian bred in the field, of course, Australian trained too by the McAvoys. St. Jean, his $3,000 plus GST sire, no doubt will get a few more mares than the single digits he's received through the last few years. But mostly just a magnificent result for the McAvoys, for Damon Gabbarty too, their agent. These guys are in and swinging in the commercial market right through the year, and nice to see them pull off a Caulfield Cup, Melbourne Cup double, thoroughly deserved. Well done, team. That is this week's podcast, done and dusted, short and sweet. If you have any feedback, some thoughts, some discussion points on what I've had to say about the commercial ramifications of the results through the week, please let us know, and thank you for listening.